and good morning. Welcome to another week in our garden. Now, believe it or not, the sun's coming out this morning. Well, it's been out for a little while. It's got the making of a good day at last. Now, I've had no rain again for about 2 or 3 weeks, only some fine drizzle which did no good anyway. But we've forecasted some good weather over the next few days, which is good for me because I can get on with painting. Now we're down in the bottom greenhouse because I've got a couple of yellow peppers to harvest. The bullhorns are turning, but they're not quite red enough to harvest yet. I like to have them nice and red, and that increases the sweetness of them as well. Likewise, the King of the North, the red peppers are still not quite, they're turning but they're not quite there. We'll give them another week. But these two yellows, definitely we can harvest. And we've got the secateurs this week, it'll be a bit easier. Here you are, look. Perfect, that's a very nice pepper. And this one, if I can get it. Yes, got you, come on. There it comes. There's a little bit of green where it was sat on the other pepper, but that's perfect pepper, that'll do nicely. As I say, the reds will leave for a little while. Now we'll go up the garden and we'll probably do a salad harvest this week. We've got quite a bit of salad stuff ready, so we'll get those harvested. Now, I nearly forgot, but just before we go, we'll have a quick look at the onions. They're still not quite ready yet. If we have these few days of fine weather and sunshine, I'm sure they'll dry out a bit better. They're not quite there yet, so we'll give them another week. And then we'll get them on the strings and get them stored away. There's some nice onions. I keep going through them and checking them. There's still a bit of green on them and the tops still feel a bit dampish, so we'll leave them to dry out properly. Okay, let's go and look at these salads then. Now we've come into this net where we've put a few of the salads, and we'll take a couple of the little gem and one of the lollo rosso and a few of the radish. The spring onions here are not quite ready, but we've got some down the bottom that we can harvest first. Let's take these, see how we go. I shall pull them out and then just cut the root off. A good root on them. So, a nice pair of little gem there. Yep, they'll do. And we'll take this one off the lollo rosso. We'll have to go quite deep to get this, that's it. And that's the lollo rosso. I'll just put these into the truck. I'll just take a few of these radish that are ready. 1 or 2 have got quite big, as you can see, but they'll be fine. Dial sorting. That's the size we like, but that's one. It doesn't even look the same variety, does it? But seed merchant. Oops, falling over. I'm taking the big ones out first. It looks like that one's been pecked by a bird. Actually, we found 2 birds in here this morning, so it looks like they've had a peck at that radish. It's fresh, So it must have been them devils that's done it. Some nice radishes. Not sure about that one, but they'll do nicely. We'll just pick a couple of the courgettes that are ready again. They've been cropping really well, these courgettes. I'm quite pleased with them. Tomatoes we picked in the week. We took all the reds that we could, because if we leave the reds, especially the lower down ones, pigeons have them, so we take them away on a regular basis. So I don't think there's actually any tomatoes today. Just a couple. There's one. That's not bad. It's the same colour as the peppers, these are. Here we are, another one. I cut a couple of leaves off as well. Now we'll just sit down to the bottom and get some pulling onions, spring onions, and we can also prune the plum tree. It's a little bit late in the season, but we've got a few days now where it's going to be nice and dry and sunny, so now's the time to get it cut, because we don't want to cut it and then in the rain. A few spring onions here. What I should do is take this line. I think the ground is so dry. I did try watering them, but I don't think it ran in much. Smell beautiful. That's it. So there they are. We're not going to separate them until we get them to the tank. We'll put some water on and then they come away beautifully. Some are a bit small, but they'll do nicely. Now down at the plum tree, it had a heavy attack this year of aphid because the ladybirds and the hoverflies etc. were late coming out this year, so it had a bit of an attack. But then when the ladybirds and hoverflies did come, they did take control of them, but obviously that's left a mess on the plant, but that's no problem now. Now we're a few days of nice weather and we're a bit on the late side, so we'll get it pruned and then it'll be nice and dry on the cuts for when it does rain. I'm going to take just around the edge with the secateurs and then do the top with the long shears. But I'm definitely going to take most of this new growth off and get inside as I go and just take odd pieces out. Let's get rid of all this first. I'm going to drop it and then tidy up afterwards. Just cut back to a node like we normally do, or in this case a little branch. You see this is all damaged, so that can come off to there. So takes quite a time, but it's well worth to do it properly and make sure you get everything cut back to a node. That's the most important thing. You see this one is dead, so we go right back and take that one out. This one, you see, I'm going to go right inside and take all that off, so it just opens the inside up a bit. And looking in, there's one or two dead pieces that have got to come out there and there. Not, you see, that's dead, so you must cut those off as you go. That one's growing inside, so we take that one. Likewise that one and that one. It's like most pruning, it's once you get going you can cover some ground quite quickly. I'll take this one out, so I don't want them that low. And then we can hope next spring we don't get a late frost again. So we might get some plums next year. I'll just finish this top bit, then I'll show you what's done. It looks, one or two did make plums up, but they're still green. They're not going to do anything now. I'll take that one out, I think, there. Take these long ones off there. Take that back to there. That one I'm going to take to there. This one, there. Top one I can't reach. Can I just, I think. There's two crossing there, so that one can come out. That whole thing can come out there. That's dead in there. This, that'll be fine. That's broken, so we'll take that off. If I just do that bit, you'll be able to see what I do to the plum. I am being quite hard on it because we need some new growth for next year. The next year's plums will be on the outside rather than on the inside, because we're going to take the inside ones out. You see, that's not doing any good in there. So open the inside up, lets the air through, and hopefully we'll get no frost. I'll use the long handle pruners now and just take some of this top out. It's a case of trying your best to get under a node while you're up there. Sometimes you can't, but most times you can. And I don't want plums right up there. I need them lower down, so I'm going to be quite heavy on it. That one I'll take off there. That one's got a dead top, look, so I'll take that one. That one could go in here. Take some of that out. That one can come off, it's not doing anything there. And then the top, I'll just pull those off. I need to, if you see how it's open at the bottom and still quite congested at the top, we still need to take some of the top out. So I think I can get that one. Yeah. I've cut it, I've just got to get it out. There it comes. If I just grab it with the hook and pinch it, there it is. And that will try and open the top out so the air can get in. As you can see, it's quite congested in there. But we'll keep going until we get it down. Another one there, look. That's cut, so it just wants to. So I'll now finish the tree off. I think that's the best way, and then show you what it's like when I finish it. Now there you are, that is the plum tree pruned. It looks a bit drastic because I did a heavy pruning. It was getting so congested inside that they wouldn't have fruited in there anyway, and if they did, they wouldn't have ripened. Now the air can get through, we'll have lots of new growth coming, and hopefully, provided we don't get a late frost, we'll have a good crop of plums next year. I've heavy pruned this because I've been doing it for a long time now. If you're going to prune your plum tree or stone fruits this time of year and you're a little bit nervous about pruning, then just take off the new growth until you feel more confident to go this deep. Now some of this, the thinner pieces at least, will go through the shredder, and the thicker pieces will have to go onto the incinerator and then the ash put on the garden, so it's not wasted at all. But that's the I shall clean that up later. Let's go and have a look at these potatoes, see what we've got. Now we're going to dig one of this line here, which are second earlies, so we'll have a look what's down there. Now don't know if you can remember, but some of those that ordered Nemerslug, we didn't get it till very, very late this year, and it's had quite an effect on the potato crop because we didn't put it on early enough, because there was something wrong at the factory and they lost a batch or something. But when we did get it, it was very, very late, so the slugs have had a field day this. Let's see what we got then. I'll just take this soil away and then we'll dig the root. And there are potatoes. Here's second earlies, Eleanor. There's a little bit of slug damage on some of them, but they're not bad. They're okay. They're fine. We'll just take the one root and then we'll take one from over there where we cut the tops off. I think that's it. That's it, that's one root. What we'll do, we'll go over to the other side where we thought we had a bit of blight and we'll cut all the tops off, and we'll see what's left in the soil. Let's have a look what we got. Oh, soil's dry. Let's have a look. I can tell with the markings on them, I can tell with the red that's on them. These are King Edwards and they're not too bad. Let's see what we got. Remember, we cut the tops off these, so we more or less stopped them. A little bit of sluggy there, but digging these up, you can see that it wasn't blight that we had, because there's none rotten. That one's alright. There you are. Cleaner than I thought they would be. Very good. Let's see what else we got down there. Missed that one, huh? That's the seed. the seed is there. I'll just put the seed over there because it's rotten. Remember, always take them all out, even if it's got a bit of green on it, take them out, leave it in, you've got more potatoes. And 2 there, look. Took them in. That wasn't too bad. We'll just try one on this plot as well. We don't want too many just now, but we'll try another one on here. And you can see the weeds are getting old, so they'll have to be taken out. Oh, look at that. That weren't very good to squeeze it through. And again. Not too bad at all. That one's got some wet on it, so I'm going to get that one. That looks fine. We'll just have a look what else we got down here. And it's still coming out. Yeah. We're okay. Take that away. That'll be covered in small potatoes that will sprout. There's more. We'll take these 3 and then we'll backfill, I think. I caught that one a little bit more. I'm pleased that there's not a lot of slug damage, and even though we cut the tops off, the potatoes are still of a good size. Now we have actually cut them off, and it's been 3 or 4 weeks now since we cut them off, so those skins are hardened, so they can actually go into a crate and be put in the store, and they'll keep for quite a while. Now I've just left these storing potatoes out for about an hour so they can dry in the sun. I don't want to wet them then store them. I'd sooner let the sun do the drying, and then they can go in a box in the shed. Now we've popped up to the top greenhouse. There's a few peppers, a few tomatoes and a few cucumbers. So we'll harvest the cucumbers first, but let me tell you my little, about a month ago, the cucumber leaves all went like this, and I thought, now what can we do? The whole plant, both plants were like this, and so what I did, I cut every leaf off, and I gave the plant, because it was absolutely bare of leaves then, I gave the plant some high nitrogen feed. You all know it. It's actually, if I say blue water, you'll know what the feed I use. I gave them a good dose of that and a good dose of Epsom salts, and 1 month later this is the result. We've gone back to producing nice green leaves, or greenish leaves, and loads of cucumbers again. And the head of this plant is now halfway along the greenhouse. So if your plant gets covered in those yellow leaves and it looks like it's dying, don't grub it out, take all your leaves off, give it some nitrogen feed and some Epsom salts. You've got nothing to lose, and if you win, your plant is revitalised. I think Diane was telling me to drink some as well, but I'm not. So we'll take 2, I think. We've got loads, so but we only want 2 at the moment. Let's just take 2 of the biggest. Oh, perfect. Right, Diane's flashing on the camera, so I shall harvest some of these orange tomatoes, which are very, very sweet, and a few of the yellow peppers that are ready, and I'll meet her down at the shed. Now, Diane's changed the batteries, so we can proceed. Now, we did a little bit of a harvest. I'll just show you what we've got. Now, we got those yellow bell peppers. We've actually got six more today. Very, very good, very, very sweet. 2 of the fem spot cucumbers, always nice. The potatoes that we've taken are the second earlies, which were called Eleanor. The older potatoes I've put in the sun to dry, and I'll put those into the shed. The small sweet tomatoes, I've harvested quite a few. They are coming to the end now, so they won't be long before they're finished. The 2 little gem and 1 lollo rosso lettuce. Some spring onion, they'll be the guardsman because that's the only ones that grow. The courgettes are called easy pick, and the radish with this white bottom are called sparkler. Always do well on heavy land though. Very good radish. Now that will set us up for salads, etc. for next week. Very pleased with the crops. Still coming through even the bad season we've had. Now that'll be it for this week. Many thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We do appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye now.